number 5. It's scheduled for 10. 3 good rounds for Tommy Morrison. He had Sherman Griffin down in the first, but in the 4th round, Tommy Morrison looking exhausted, and Sherman Griffin coming on. Matter of fact, let's find out what they were talking about in the corner of Tommy Morrison after that 4th round.
You let him take control of the ring there. You let him move you. You got to move him. He can't fight back enough, right? You got to back him up. You got to relax.
You got my jabs here.
Exactly. Exactly. What you got to do, you got to use your 7, come in low off your 7. You need to come with combinations. Power 7 if you need it. Power 7, 2, 5. Come back up high. One punch ain't going to do it here.
Well, I believe the 7 that he's making reference to is probably the left hook. He wants him to back Sherman Griffin up. But did you notice how heavy Tommy was breathing in between rounds? It's like a steam engine's over there in his corner.
And look at the distance now between these two fighters.
Yeah, and they remember what they wanted to do. They want Tommy back, Sherman Griffin up. Griffin says, I want to counter off his punches.
Sherman Griffin tank doesn't look completely full either. Oh, yeah. Here's that uppercut. That's his best punch. And now flailing away with his left hook and sneaks one inside. And Morrison steps back. Sherman Griffin, the most important fight in his life, comes off the near upset over Buster Mathis Jr. last month, where he had Mathis down but lost a majority decision. And Sherman Griffin, one-time top amateur, looked to be a sure bet for a world title out of Tunis. He debuted as a light heavyweight, won 6 of his first 7 fights, moved up to the cruiserweight division, got a little trouble brushes with the law, but now he is back in action. He's fought 4 times since he is back on the streets, and he right now is looking for an opening that will give him some major paydays.
Yeah, pressure from Tommy Morrison, but here are the signs that say he's tired. Look at the mouth hanging open from Morrison. Look at the hands down by his waist right now. He is visibly out of gas. The tank is empty.
And we will pause now for a word from your local cable systems. Crowd now trying to get behind Tommy Morrison. Morrison comes out pumped up, goes to work very quickly here in the 6th round, losing ground the last 2 against Sherman Griffin, a very likable young man who is trying to turn his life around, a la Alex Garcia, and they can really turn his career around dramatically if he pulls this one off here tonight against Morrison.
One thing also Morrison is criticized for is he wins the first part of the round pretty good, even in the later rounds, but then he fades as that round goes on. His stamina is questionable.
Sherman Griffin, who at 83 won the National Golden Gloves Championship in the finals, beating Evander Holyfield. Evander eventually caught up to Griffin, won in a rematch later on.
He beat him not once, but twice, Al. The National Golden Gloves in '81. He beat the former champ also.
But Griffin, in what he called his wild child days, they are behind him. Couple of brushes with the law, 2 stints behind bars. And from some of his rough days, there's still a bullet lodged in his back. In an altercation, as he was leaving, he was shot in the back. And he says those days are so far behind. And right now, this could be the most memorable day in his life.
Oh, yeah. Memorable because Tommy Morrison has punched himself out. Look now, Tommy is not digging in with his punches. You were taught on that big heavy bag that hangs in the gym, you're taught to punch not to the bag, but through the bag. Right now, Tommy Morrison is not punching through Sherman Griffin. He's just doing enough to punch to him.
It was in this ring, or this town, that Tommy Morrison, as the WBO heavyweight champion, in what looked to be a mere tune-up before a $7.5 million fight against WBC heavyweight champ Lennox Lewis, that Morrison came out and was stopped in 1 round by Michael Bent. And Tommy Morrison coming back to Tulsa to try to erase that nightmare in his mind. But right now it's not sweet dreams here in the 6th round for Morrison.
Well, he may have thought this one was going to end in the 1st round. It did not.
Some of his closest people warned him about fighting against Sherman Griffin, but this is all about Tommy Morrison coming out himself and trying to put on the pressure early, and once again running out of gas. This is pretty much a video replay of several fights we have seen with Morrison. 7th round action. Tommy Morrison in the red trunks looking for his 41st victory, trying to avoid his 3rd loss. Coming into this fight, he said, I can't afford another setback. I got to do it now. Well, Tommy Morrison is facing a possible setback against Sherman Griffin in his 17th professional fight. Griffin was down in the 1st round. Good 3 rounds for Tommy Morrison, but he left it there in the last of the 3 rounds. And right now, Sean O'Grady is in the Morrison corner.
Come off with it, Tommy. A lot of words of encouragement. What are you trying to tell him?
I want him to go to the body off of his 7. That's his jab. He's got to go to the body and then come up like he's doing now. He's got to go low first, then high.
What woke him up? You think he got a 2nd win?
Yeah, he's coming back. He came back in the last round. We had a little problem there. I think we got a little flustered because of the jab wasn't working for us. But we're going to come back here. We're going to come back here. Tommy Strong is in shape. He's worked hard. He just has to relax a little bit more.
The last few rounds he's lost the jab. He's getting back to that, but he's also landing heavy shots.
It's coming back. We just got to get out of the middle after he throws it. The reason we lost is guy started parrying it.
We got hurt, Tommy.
No, we haven't been hurt. Just got a little blood from uppercuts, but he ain't hurt nothing. He hasn't. Right now, he don't have the power to hurt us anymore.
He punched himself out.
I hope so. Not Tommy. No. Tommy is not punched out. Tommy's strong. Tommy always has punch power. He's in shape. He just has to relax. When he relaxes, he can fight.
He has to play and have fun. Thank you, Tom. Good luck to you over here. Al, they want him to relax in there.
All right, champ. Back in the ring, 7th round action coming down to the final minute. Tommy Morrison, who starred in Rocky V as Rocky Balboa's protege, Tommy Gunn. Biggest difference, though, he has found from the movies that here, when an opponent launches that big right or that left hook, there is no director to yell, cut.
Tom Burgess has to be happy with that. Good performance from Morrison this round. Tommy woke him up between rounds. That's how a fighter can get a 2nd win, and they finally put it together.
Tommy Morrison now focusing on the boxing career. He said acting again maybe when the boxing career is over, and perhaps the advice to Tommy may be don't throw away the SAG card. Coming down to the final 10 seconds of the 7th.
And you had to worry about that back in the 4th, 5th, and 6th round. But this round, he looks as though he's turned it around. He's turned the corner. Now you can see the 10th round in the distance. Sherman Griffin may have punched himself out. Look at him walk around, fall down on the stool. He is visibly tired. Now, does Morrison have enough left to knock out Griffin?
Walks into that left. Morrison is now the aggressor.
Morrison only 2 knockouts late in the fight. The 8th round for Carl the Truth Williams. The 9th round for Joe Hipp back in June of 1992.
And in both of those fights, Morrison had also suffered in the fights. He suffered a broken jaw in the 2nd round against Hipp, injured his right hand in the 4th, floored Hipp in the 5th round. Hipp then coming on strong again when Morrison floored him again and stopped him in the 9th. Against Carl the Truth Williams, The first and third rounds, Williams was floored. Then Morrison was down twice in the fifth, and he rallied to stop Williams in the eighth round. That's why we say Tommy Morrison has that star quality, the most exciting fighter in the ring, and the fact that he is dangerous for both himself and the opponent.
Yeah, he's not afraid to get hit and hit the other man back. And when he gets hit, it's ugly. When he hits the other man, it's ugly.
And quite frankly,
stop doing that.
And it's why the establishment of boxing hasn't taken seriously, but the fans love it. That's what they come to see.
Tommy Morrison paying a price in this fight, too. A little bit of abrasion under his right eye. Good left hook. Morrison on the inside. There's that fast punch. Griffin said he was going to slip that left hook. Slipped it with his nose. They don't like this tying up from Sherman.
Sherman Griffin has a minute to go in the eighth and then 2 more rounds.
Oh, yeah. And he was ready to quit after that 7th round. Had Morrison jumped right on him, it may have been all over, although Griffin never has been knocked out, never stopped.
Yeah, but Griffin is in territory now. To win this fight, he has to knock out Morrison.
Oh, yeah.
Number one, Morrison looks to be pretty well comfortably in front, and even if he isn't, Griffin understands he's fighting in Morrison's backyard here in Tulsa.
Boom.
Griffin going behind the back with the referee right there.
Referee Kevin Champion, shots to the back of the head, never even noticed by the referee. That's a great name for a referee, by the way, Kevin Champion. Here is Griffin scoring. Back and forth.
Better name for a fighter. Well, there's one champion in the ring. And ready for the 9th round, but interesting. He had walked back to his corner, sat down, and for the moment thought that he was in the wrong corner, got up, started walking across the ring, and then went back to his corner.
Then he realized he was in the right corner in the first place. When you get stunned by a punch, you lose your sense of direction. You can't feel the mat underneath your feet. The whole building seems to turn, and that's what happened to Tommy Morrison.
And turning away now is Sherman Griffin.
The arm down by his waist. He's holding on, he's tying up. Noticeably a different fighter than Tommy Morrison than that Morrison in the first round. And noticeably a different fighter in Griffin from that 4th, 5th, and 6th round. Going behind the head, Morrison just squats down to one knee. Griffin gets a warning.
This is only the 4th time in 43 fights that Tommy Morrison has been beyond the 6th round. And Tommy Morrison, who usually gets more scrutiny than most heavyweight fighters, he hates to be considered a great white hope, does not like that term. But on the flip side, Tommy Morrison is always just one win away from title conversations.
Sure, but
so he takes the good with the bad.
It is a tag on every fighter that is white, and it seems to be limited to the heavyweight division. Remember so many great white hopes in the past.
1 minute to go in the 9th round.
Morrison, a lot of the effectiveness out of these punches, but he is scoring.
Last June, Tommy Morrison had defeated George Foreman for what that was worth, the WBO heavyweight title. 4 months later, it was Michael Bennett, and now the crowd getting on Sherman Griffin, who tried to take advantage of the positioning of Morrison.
Coming up, Sherman Griffin has got to be thinking to himself, boy, I need a knockout. There is no way I can win in the hometown of Tommy Morrison. Plus, I have given Morrison the majority of the round. Morrison has landed the cleaner blows. Morrison has kept the pressure on, even though Griffin has had his moments and his rounds.